So welcome dear students. So today we are going to discuss different methods of composting. Already in the last class we have discussed what is composting. So composting is any system of mixing, decaying and decomposing the organic solid waste, and it can therefore be used to recycle the organic material. The process involves decomposition of organic material into a humus-like material known as a compost, which is a good fertilizer for the plants. And at the simplest level, the process of composting requires making a heap of wet organic matter such as leaves, grass and food scraps, and waiting for the materials to break down into humus after a period of months. So we also discussed aerobic and anaerobic composting in the last class. Today we'll see what is indoor method and Bangalore method. So manual composting was systematized by Howard and his associates, and it was further developed by Acharya and Subramanya, and the methods are conventionally referred to as the indoor method and the Bangalore methods of composting. So in Bangalore method, this was actually worked out by L.N. Acharya at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and the indoor method was developed by A. Howard at the Institute of Plant Industry, Indore in India. So we'll see what each of these. So Bangalore method. This method of composting was developed at Bangalore in India by Acharya in the year 1939. And this method is basically recommended when the night soil and the refuse are used for preparing the compost. So here we are using night soil as well as the refuse or the waste, that is the municipal solid waste. And the method is suitable for areas with scanty rainfall or scanty or less rainfall. It is in these areas where this method is normally preferred. So this is an anaerobic method conventionally which is carried out in pits, and formerly the waste was anaerobically stabilized in the pits where alternate layers of municipal solid waste and night soil were laid, and the pit will be completely filled and then a final soil layer is laid in order to prevent the, and this soil layer that is laid at the top, it is mainly to prevent the breeding of the flies and also the entry of rainwater into the pit and for conservation of the released energy. So you know that when the waste decomposes, energy will be released, so this has to be conserved, and this is for this purpose we are covering the top layer with the soil. So topmost layer of the pit is covered using soil, and the material is then allowed to decompose for say 4 to 6 months, after which the stabilized material is taken out and it is used as a compost. So here as you see in this method, the dry waste material of 25 centimeter thick will be spread into a pit, and then a thick suspension of cow dung in water will be sprinkled over this waste, and this is mainly done for moistening the that whole layer of waste that is being laid in the pit. And then a thin layer of dry waste is laid over the moistened layer, and the pit will be filled alternately with the dry layers and the material of cow dung until it rises above say 0.5 meters above the ground level. So and you can see here in the figure, this is how the pit will be laid, and this is left say for about 15 days it will be left open, and then later on it will be turned, and then we will lay a layer of soil above the pit. So in order to prepare the pit in the Bangalore method, the trenches or the pits say about 1 meter deep will be dug, and here again the breadth and the length of the trench, this is made depending on the availability of the land and also the type of material to be composted. So it also depends on what type of material that is being composted, the dimension of the pit. And the trenches preferably will be having a sloping wall. As you see in the figure, it has a sloping wall and a floor of 90 centimeters slope in order to prevent the logging of water. Again in order to fill the pit, so the organic residues and the night soil will be put in alternate layers after filling, then the pit is covered with a 15 to 20 centimeter thick layer of refuse, and these materials are allowed to remain in the pit without turning and watering, and after that the material will settle down due to reduction in the volume. So as the decomposition happens, what happens is the total initial volume will be reduced. So due to the reduction in the volume of the biomass, and additional night soil and refuse will be placed on top in alternate layers, and then plastered or covered with mud or earth. So this is mainly to prevent the loss of moisture and also breeding of the flies. After the initial aerobic composting, say which is for about 8 to 10 days, the material will undergo anaerobic decomposition, and this happens at a very slow rate, and finally it takes about 6 to 8 months in order to obtain the final finished product or the compost. So this is the Bangalore method of composting. I hope it is clear. Now coming to the indoor method. So the indoor method of composting. So an important advance in the practice of composting was made at Indore in India by Howard in the year between the period of 1924 to 1926. So the traditional procedure was systematized into a method of composting, which is now known as the indoor method. So the indoor method of composting in pits mainly involves filling of alternate layers of similar thickness as in a Bangalore method. However, to ensure the aerobic condition, the material is turned at regular or specific intervals. So unlike the Bangalore method, in the indoor method, after filling the layers of waste, these are turned at regular intervals, at least for 3 times. So for starting the turning operation, the first turn is actually done say after 4 to 7 days after filling, and the second turn is given after about 5 to 10 more days after the first turning, and further turning normally it is done after 2 to 4 weeks. So this indoor method, in the indoor method of composting, the organic waste will be spread in the cattle shed. It is mainly done in a cattle shed. So this will be spread as a bed, as a horizontal layer of bed, and then what happens is the urine soaked material. So as when in the cattle shed, the cow dung and the urine soaked material will be removed every day, and that will be formed into a layer of say 15 centimeter thick, usually in a site which is very close to the shed, and the urine soaked earth scraped from the cattle shed will be mixed with water and sprinkled over the layer of waste twice or thrice a day. And this layering process will be continued for about a fortnight or say 15 days or 2 weeks. A thin layer of well decomposed compost is sprinkled over the top, and the heap is given a turning, and it is finally reformed again. So the old compost will act here, it will act as an inoculum for decomposing the material, and this is why we are using that old compost. And this heap is left undisturbed for say about a month, and then it is thoroughly moistened which by giving a turning, and the compost is ready for application in another month or say in 1 month. So this is a principle of the indoor method. There are two methods, the pit method and the heap method. In indoor process there are the two methods, that is a pit method and the heap method. So in the pit method, we'll see what is a pit method. So here the site selected for the compost pit should be at a height level, so it should be at a higher level so that no rainwater gets into it during the monsoon season, and it should be very near to the cattle shed. As I already said, the waste will be laid in a layer inside a cattle shed, and so the site where we will be placing or will be layering these waste should be very near to the cattle shed, and a temporary shed may be constructed over it to protect the compost from heavy rainfall. So in case of heavy rainfall, after this layers are laid, we have to put a temporary shed so that it will not get wet in the event of a heavy rainfall. And this pit should be about 1 meter deep normally, and 1.5 to 2 meter wide, and length it can be of any suitable length. So normally the size in the pit method, this is the size. Breadth is about 1.5 to 2 meters. Depth is about 1 meter. And the length can be up 3 meter or even more as per the requirement. And regarding the filling of the pit, so the material brought from the cattle shed will be spread evenly in the pit in layers of 10 to 15 centimeters, and on each layer slurry that is made with cow dung, urine and earth, and also inoculum taken from 15-day-old composting pit. So a slurry will be made mixing all these, that is the cow dung, the urine and the inoculum, and this will be laid on each layer. And and sufficient quantity of the water is sprinkled over the material in the pit. So here you can see, this is how in the pit method, this is how the pit is formed. So after the layers are laid, sufficient quantity of water is sprinkled over the material in the pit, and this is mainly to wet it, and the pit will be filled in this way, layer by layer, and finally it should not take longer than a week in order to fill this. So within a week we have to fill the pit, and also care should be taken to avoid compacting the material. So no compaction is to be done. We just have to lay the layers and leave it as such. This is the filling of the pit. Coming to the turning, so as I already told you, unlike the Bangalore method, in this case the material is turned at least 3 times, and this is mainly for aeration and also to retain the moisture content. So the first turning is usually done 10 to 15 days after filling the pit, and the second turning is done 15 days after the first turning, and the third turning is usually done after 2 months of the second turning. So this is a pit method of indoor method of composting. This is a typical map which represents the indoor method or indoor compost pit. Now coming to the heap method. So during rainy seasons or in regions with very heavy rainfall, the compost may be prepared in the form of heaps above the ground and protected by a shed. So over the heap, you usually provide a temporary shed in order to prevent the rain from falling over the heap. And the basic indoor pile will be about 2 meter wide at the base and 1.5 meter in height and 2 meter long. And normally the sides are tapered so that the top is about 0.5 meter narrower in width than the base, and a small bund is sometimes built around the pile in order to protect it from wind, which will normally tend to dry the heap. So how do you form the heap? So the heap is usually started with a 20 centimeter layer of carbonaceous materials. Normally carbonaceous materials means leaves, hay, straw, sawdust, chips of wood, chopped corn stalks, etc. And then it is covered with 10 centimeter layer of nitrogenous material such as fresh grass, weeds or garden plant residues, etc. And the pattern of this 20 centimeter layer of carbonaceous material and 10 centimeter of nitrogenous material will be followed until the height of the pile is say about 1.5 meter, and the material is normally wetted so that it may feel damp, and the pile is sometimes covered with soil or hay to retain heat, and then it is turned at 6 and 12 week intervals. So if the materials are limited, the alternate layers also can be added as they become available. So sometimes the material that is needed for composting may be lesser. So in this case, alternate layers may be added whenever they are made, whenever it is available. So also all the materials may be mixed together in the pile if one is careful to maintain the proper proportioning. Here again, shredding the material is done. This is mainly to speeden up the decomposition process. So when you shred the materials before you put it into the compost heap or pile, what happens is there will be more, the material will decompose more easily when it is shredded. And when sufficient nitrogenous material is not available, normally a green manure or some crop like sun hemp etc. will be grown on this heap by like you can sow some seeds on this heap so that some greenery or some leguminous crop can be grown, and this green matter is then turned into in at time of the second mixing. So once you turn it, what happens is green matter also will be mixed up along with this. So this process of heap method of indoor composting normally takes about 4 months to complete. So this is a heap method of indoor method of composting. Now comparison of the two methods, that is Bangalore method and the indoor method. So the Bangalore method, as we discussed, requires longer time for stabilization of the material, and hence it needs larger land space, which is in short supply in urban areas. So in urban areas normally the land availability will be there will be scarcity or there will be lesser space available. So this Bangalore method, since it requires more space, it is not suitable in urban areas. The gases generated in this anaerobic process also poses problems like smell and odor, etc. And the indoor method, on the other hand, stabilizes the material in a shorter time, and it also needs lesser space. So as no odorous gases are generated in the indoor process, this is more environmental friendly, and hence it is normally preferred over the Bangalore method of composting. Also, while the organic matter is stabilized during the composting process, the moisture content also changes, and the non-decomposables are also rejected. Hence, what happens is the quantity of compost is much lesser than the input and is normally around 50%. And the exact value depends on the again the characteristics of what material you have put it, or the input material characteristic decides what is the exact value. So here in the table form the comparison is given. You can see the first point, the Bangalore method functions aerobically for several days and then it becomes anaerobic, and indoor method, the indoor composting system relies on aerobic activity, although portions of the pile on pit or pit will likely become anaerobic between the turnings. Also odor problem and fly breeding, etc., are often associated with the Bangalore method, and this the problem is normally under control in the indoor method of composting. And another thing is the Bangalore method is a very slow process, while indoor method is more rapid compared to the Bangalore method. Again, in the Bangalore method, the decomposition is not uniform or homogeneous, whereas in the indoor method, the decomposition is uniform. And Bangalore method, again, after 4 to 5 months, the composting process is complete, whereas in the indoor method, during the period of active composting, the contents are turned from 1 to 5 times over a period of 16 months. And in Bangalore method, more intensive labor is required. Here in the case of indoor method, less labor is required. And then moisture control problem is a problem related to the Bangalore method, and less moisture control problem in the case of indoor method. So this is the Bangalore method of composting and the indoor method of composting. Thank you.